Hello, Mr. Codestring. Thanks very much for letting me know. Hey, at least we only, wasted a couple minutes of me talking? I wasn't saying anything of great importance, other than, we ran into some stability issues yesterday. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that. Yeah, I had this thing running, yesterday, like boots into Windows fine. As soon as I go and do stress testing on it, doesn't matter if it's Furmark, etc hash, or Kapow, it crashes with the overclock. At stock settings, it was running Furmark, or at stock settings, it was running etc hash fine, with the 59% power limit. But yeah, I opened it up last night to take a peek, and it seemed like there was a compression issue with the top 2 VRAM, and so I reassembled it and applied some pressure, hoping that would fix it. It seems that it didn't, so yeah, I definitely usually start talking right away, so I appreciate that. Good catch. That means you've got a keen mind. All right, like, I still think this is a core contact issue, but it's hard to say for sure. I'm gonna take these off just so I can show you guys a bit better. I mean, the paste actually looks, yeah, it's okay. It's maybe a bit thicker on the edges. Just gotta be careful with these connectors. It looks like I'm applying force, but I'm really just trying to hold it rigid and, yeah, not apply any force to the wires themselves. So I can see there's like a light film there, so it was touching for these two. These ones I can see actual marks. But if you guys, how am I gonna, there we go. You guys see that? We'll use the reflected light. So the bottom 3 there, they were making good marks indentation. The side 3 are good. The top 2 are a little bit less compressed. It seems like they make a different pattern. So hello, Daniel M, welcome to the stream. So it might still be a compression issue, and it's possible I've created a compression issue with using maybe a bit too much putty on, hypothetically, that VRM there. Okay, here's I think what we'll do. I'm just to troubleshoot. I'm going to take the TGPP10 off here. I think we're going to leave the pads, and I'm going to put a softer putty just there on the VRM. We'll repaste the core. I'll get it up and going again. I don't think the pads are making themselves or making anything crash. I think it's something else going on, and I probably used too much putty here. I can see it's like having a hard time pressing out. It's touching. Let's zoom in here. Sorry, guys. We'll even give you guys a bit of focus if I can. Okay. Closer. All right, so see this putty here? It's up against this capacitor. It's touching these coils, this capacitor, these two, the pad, this little IC. It can't go anywhere, and it is stiffer than ideal, and I probably have a little bit too much, so it's, yeah, I think let's remove that and try again. Strix, welcome to the stream. Definitely there can be too much putty. Actually, well, I don't know if I can show that video. It's because it's banned. I can show you a picture from a video that's not banned though. let me just let me find something here. Let's see if I can get this picture. When I say banned, basically I had a video that was taken down, unfortunately, several months back, but a few of you guys probably know that whole story, so I'm not going to get into that right now. Let's see, UX Pro video pics. Here we go. Oh yeah, so here's an example. Oh, just a sec, let me make sure I've got Google opened in both of my browsers. All right, so last year, almost a year ago, I guess. Wow, actually it's probably exactly a year ago. Like almost to the day? I can't remember. I had tested U6 Pro from Upsiren from AliExpress, and I put massive logs on the VRAM, and it was way too much. Now it tested fine for VRAM temperatures, but the core didn't do so well. And look at that mess, like just disgusting, eh? Way too much putty. And look how it got underneath or between the basically this bracket here. So it was creating a core contact issue. You can see uneven spread, good contact here, and thick layer of paste on this half. So it was like a wedge of paste. So you can definitely have too much putty, right? When it's got nowhere to go. Yeah, so we're gonna that's the best shot right there, showing what happens with too much putty. So you are actually better being conservative with putty and spending less realistically. Ooh, that's an old photo. Can't show that. Oh, great. Yeah, I was using like 8 or 9 millimeter logs. I wasn't measuring the logs. I was just like, yeah, this will be good. I'll just put a bunch of putty on. So what we're gonna do is we'll scoop up the TGPP10. We're gonna try some softer putty and a little bit of it. I'll still put the TGPP10 back on. I'll just use after this, but I just want to check. So, for those of you out there that are thinking of using putty, you're probably not going to be opening the card as often as I do. Ideally, right? You're going to probably do the job once and then wait a couple of years until you run into thermal problems, realistically. You know, whether it's the core. But this is what like used putty looks like. It's not as soft or as messy. So it does firm up a little bit. Still malleable, but it is easier to clean, I would say. Because look, it's coming off in relatively easy to handle scoops of putty. Now, it's still a bit of work to clean it up. It's possible I have too much here, but it makes more sense that that's the issue up there. Yeah, sometimes you can get it to peel back like that. And realistically, if I had a little, a better... Oh, you know what? Maybe I do. I'll just go like that. The back of it. So yeah, we're trying to see if the pads are the problem or if I'm kind of leaning towards I had too much TGPP10 there. Because I also had to troubleshoot the GPU risers pads application. I had to open that up during the night after my first test. And then I solved it, but maybe I applied a bit more force during reassembly. Hard to say for sure. Yeah, it was the pink stuff was a bit much for sure. Daniel says you just ordered 2 times 70 grams. Nice. Yeah, that's I think you're going to be happy with that, man. It's good stuff. Like I said, lots of good putties to choose from these days. And prices are good. And it's good that we have competition, right? It's good that there's several good putties from different manufacturers. That way, it kind of keeps the prices low, right? Like, look at Pentium putties. They're great putties. They are. Like the TH949. I'm willing to bet the TH949-3 is better than the -1. I still need to test -3. I need to contact them and get some of that on the way. But it's expensive and it's inaccessible a little bit inside Canada because for some reason Pentium putties do not ship or get sold through digikey.ca, but they'll sell through digikey.com or other DigiKey countries websites, but not the Canadian one. And for a time they did. There was like a little short period of time where you could actually access 949-1. So I'm going to have to get it directly from Pentium and pay some super expensive shipping to test it out. Maybe I'll get a couple, I'll get a new batch of 949-1 as well. And see, just for testing some fresh stuff. Dirder250, welcome to the stream. Hello. Ever had a scenario where you used too little putty? I mean, personally, I haven't. I've been the guy that's been using too much for too long. There was lots of people that are like, that's too much putty. It started with the TGPP10 videos when I was doing shims and people were letting me know I was using too much then. And then the U6 video that you guys can't see because it's it got taken down due to not even a copyright. It was like a trademark, I don't know, fraud thing with CSGR, which I explained in the U6 Pro Tale of Two Putties video. But yeah, in that video, in the comments, again, you guys can't see the comments, unfortunately. There's people that are like, that's way too much, and they were right. And I was like, no, it's okay. And then I opened it up, and sure enough. And it's taking me a while, but I'm gradually coming around to the idea that less is more. More savings. More better. Daniel M, are you planning to replace the P10 with something else? Just for today, just for troubleshooting purposes, I'm going to go back to TGP P10 on this card, so that we can, for the true test results. But right now we're just trying to figure out what's going on. I think I figured it out. I think I had too much up here. But I still want to, yeah, I want to do something a little bit different, and I know it's not perfectly clean. I'm okay with that. I'm just going to... I will clean the TGP-P10 residue though. We can salvage as much, we're going to use Hallen's-Eye HY256. No particular reason other than it's a decent putty and I happen to have quite a bit of it, so. And I'm expecting I might waste a little bit of it. But yeah, time is of the essence. For anyone watching, if you guys happen to have a 7000 series GPU, could you do me the largest of favors and open up HW Info 64 and see what kind of resolution you get on the memory junction temperature? Does it go up and down in 2 degrees Celsius increments or 0.1 degree increments? Would love to know. Looking for a new viable test card. I'm going to catch up on the chat here for a second. Denim, at least you can get up Siren products. Can't have it all. Yeah. Yeah, I can get those. I can get Pentium too. I just have to get it straight from them. You know, if I was doing like a really big bulk order, I could... I'm sure the shipping from Pentium wouldn't matter. Then I would it would probably work out. You're planning on using 6mm logs for the front, but have 3mm gaps on the back. How big? Okay. Putty math. I was actually wrong about the size of the VRAM, but let me grab a calipers here. Okay. So... I'm just gonna... Alright. Let's measure some VRAM really quick. Here. Yeah, I've got more pads. We'll put a new pad on there. That's fine. This is important. We're taking measurements, boys. Okay. So, VRAM is 12mm wide, the GDR6X. By 14. So 12 by 14. And you're going to be going across the, let's zoom in here. Okay. You're going to be going across the VRAM like this, right? So you're going to, on the back, or where the VRAM is, I guess. I'm assuming your back plate's going to have pads on the back side of the VRAM. So if you're doing a 3mm gap, like between the PCB and there, you want to basically achieve, let's bring up the calculator here, because I'm not going to be able to do this in my head. And we'll share screen. Okay, we're going to go big calculator for a second. So 14mm, 14 times 3. So we need to achieve a cross section of 42 millimeters squared volumetrically using a cylinder. So now I'm just going to guess. Let's try, what would 8 millimeter times 8 millimeters times decimal 7854 equals 50. 50, and we had 3 times 14. Okay, so 7 times 7 times decimal 7854, 38. So I'd go 7.5 times 7.5 times decimal 7854. Ooh, what did I do there? 7.5 times 7.5 equals times decimal 7854. 44. Okay, I'd go approximately. Oh, it's a 3090. And you've got 3 millimeter pads between the VRAM and the cold plate, or the back plate. I'm kind of wondering if your gap is smaller, but you probably have areas that are directly from the PCB all the way to the back plate. You could try 7 millimeter and it's probably going to be fine. But that's the math I use to, so if you know the gap height, 3 millimeters, and you know the width that you want the pad or the putty to end up pressing out and covering, 14, that's the cross section that we try to match, 42. So I guess I could go 42 divided by decimal 7854 equals, and then take the square root of that. That's right, 7.3 millimeters would be the perfect to achieve that with a 3 mil gap. Anyways, there is a heat pipe on the back plate, so there's, yeah. And the heat pipe's not going to be 14 millimeters wide, but you can basically, you could go 6 millimeters is gonna, if you how big would that get? I think, yeah, I'm gonna get back to the video here, but probably between 6 and 7 millimeters if it's just PCB to PC to the cold plate. For the VRAM, you'll on the back plate, you'll still be able to use 6.5 millimeter diameter for the VRAM itself. Just gonna grab some GELIDs here, and we'll put a new pad on this bottom one here. Just make sure we wipe it down a little bit. Yeah, this is gonna suck. Man. Okay, we got lots of pads to choose from. I'm gonna go... There we go. There's another 2 mil. There's 1.5. This one should... Oh yeah, we got lots. Yeah, so close. Honestly, like, it's almost perfect, but no, we'll cut it. I'm just going to cut off a little bit less than a 1/4 inch. I'm not applying too much force there, just enough to make it stick. And yeah, let's get some gloves on. Yeah, I think it's not that these pads are bad. It's that pads are bad. Not bad, but you just run into compression issues. It's funny, you know, I started looking for alternatives to pads so I could avoid all this. And now I'm just putting myself back into a position where I get to struggle with pad compression. And sometimes putty compression too, let's be honest. It's not... If you put too much putty, it can cause problems. Well, not when the TGPP10 was fresh though. Then it was super soft, right? It's just, if you're reusing putty and it's old, that's when you're running into issues. That's my new favorite method for paste. Bit of waste, but that's okay. Okay, let's get, make sure my hands are clean. There we go. Yeah, this stuff is quite soft. I won't need much of it. That's why your laptop or hotspot hits 95 now. VRAM is 85 with fresh pads. Yeah. Dirter 250, this little spreader that I got, it came, this is so nice for GPUs. I got that from eBuy7. No, sorry. This came with Cold 01 thermal paste, which seems like a decent thermal paste if you want to go with the paste. I like to go with phase change most of the time. But anyways, it's very stiff. And the one side is just, the bottom edge here is super smooth. You have to find the smoothest edge and then you always use that. Great for GPUs. For CPUs, this one works nice. It's like full size for AMD or Intel. And I got this one from eBuy7, which came with their, I don't know if it's real or a clone, but the Honeywell PTM 7958 SP on eBuy7. So it could be fake, could be real. It seemed to perform the same in testing, which is probably what matters most. And it definitely was a phase change. Yeah. And I should be like half decent at applying paste after opening this card 40 or 50 times. I've lost track, but it's up there somewhere. This thing's seen a lot. This card's seen a lot of abuse, a lot of teardowns, a lot of stress testing. Like cumulatively, probably, I don't know. It's a lot of stress testing though. It also mined for a while, which I know is a bad thing. For all you gamers out there, I understand the hate with mining. I'm not going to defend it to you guys. but I hope you find my testing useful, and you can still hate me if you like. I won't mind. Yeah. I just hope you find, yeah, testing useful and you get good temperatures. That's all I care about, is that you're good. I'm gonna leave this TGPP10. It's not really affecting much back there. So we'll Cloudiac, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Now, while we've got it here, what's the density on this stuff? 2.8. I don't have that focused for you guys, but its specific gravity of the GELID extremes is 2.8, right? So, just based on that, I don't think it can compete with putties that are in the 3.5 range and still softer than the GELID extremes. Still good. Okay, this is where... just really light pressure, not much. So if you guys weren't aware, I don't know if you watched my last stream or saw any of my posts, but this card, because it's NVIDIA, it only shows memory junction temperatures in 2-degree increments, which is not ideal. Which means all of my testing is now, for VRAM, is less accurate than I had hoped. I would say plus or minus 1 degree Celsius. Maybe at 1.5 degrees Celsius, but still accurate enough to say this putty is pretty good, this putty is not as great. We've got a 35 degree span, so it's decent, but we want to make it better. So I am looking into different options, and I might be going AMD. It seems like there's a lot of AMD cards that show a 0.1 degree incrementation on the memory junction temperature, and while technically I guess, or I had thought GDDR6 is supposed to run cooler than 6X, and overall as a generality or generalization it does, but the 7900 XTXs, and I believe even the 7900 XT and maybe the 7800, they all have GDDR6 that runs faster than the 6X that's on a 3090. 3090 is 19.5 gigabits per second. 7900 XTX, 20 gigabits per second. So it's running pretty hot. So yeah, we're going to look into trying to find an ideal test card going forward. I spoke with or emailed the person at HW Info, Martin, discussing the 2-degree resolution, asking if there's a way to improve it and make it finer. But he said because the sensors aren't actually accurate down to 0.1 degrees Celsius, he didn't see a point in having that. I don't know if he would be able to change it. It might be on the NVIDIA side of things, and I don't feel like they're wanting to share internal like work stuff. Like it's difficult to like on the Linux side, we couldn't see memory junction temperature for quite a while, up until well, a couple years ago. Here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, this pad is making sorry, I'm gonna set this to autofocus for a bit, but That pad's making good contact. There's a slight bow. I think there always has been on this card. This one, it's harder to see because there's this in the way. But I can see the that got squished there really well. So, Enzark, I'll just use that name unless you want me to use your other name. Either way, I don't mind. Your XTX, can you check to see what the resolution is in HW info, whether it just shows 2 degree increments or if it also shows down to 0.1? Because I wouldn't mind getting an XTX for testing. You know, it's a pretty powerful card, more powerful than this by a lot. Faster RAM, probably hotter VRAM than this thing can do. So, yeah. Okay, that is the card back together, guys. Wow, there's 12 of you here. I'll answer any questions if you guys have any. But oh, you're almost positive it's 0.1. Yeah, I'll stick around. From all the screenshots I've seen, XTX shows even numbers in HW info. Yeah, it's like... And it might be dependent on the model too, because I've had someone respond with a 7800 XT, and they said 0.1 for their card. We've also got Ghost, who looked at his Nitro 7900 XTX, and it seemed to be the 2 degree resolution. So I'm trying to figure this out, and I've reached out to a few different forums, trying to see what people's cards are and what the resolution that they have for on the AMD side. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce your name because I don't recognize most of those symbols, but I'll say Ton91. I know that's wrong, I'm sorry. In your opinion, what will be better for a laptop, Thermal Grizzly, Cryo Sheet, or Honeywell PTM, despite electrical conductivity? Well, the Honeywell PTM doesn't conduct electricity, and the Cryo Sheet does. So I'm assuming you mean the electric conductivity of the Cryo Sheet from Thermal Grizzly. I would go PTM all day, every day on a laptop. That Cryo Sheet can only compress down to 0.1 of a millimeter. Let's get some, because we're waiting for a response anyways. I'll change this back to manual for a sec. And we'll just focus on the card. Let me grab some Cryo Sheet and the calipers and we'll measure it right now. So laptops already have bottlenecks for thermals, right? You got airflow, cooler design, the fans are pretty loud. Excuse me, sorry. Didn't mean to cough into your guys' ears. Okay, this is the piece that was on this GPU. And the screws on here can't apply a ton of pressure, right? In a laptop, you're also in a low compression scenario. You don't have, you know, a Noctua NHD15 with those like massive screws. So I'm going to put the Cryo Sheet in between the forks, and I'm going to press as hard as I can manually. I'm not going to use this, and then we're going to see how thin we can make it. And hopefully, let's see, if I go like this and zero it now, that's under pressure. Okay, wow, that's more than it was last time. Maybe I'm not applying enough force. Man, 0.2. Did I just... What, was it folded and doubled up there? Okay, let's just try normal 0 without force applied. Okay, so this stuff, it's going to crumble on me. We're going to try not to get any on the GPU itself. So I'm applying... Yeah, here we go. Okay, my fingers are hurting right now, a lot. But we're getting almost to 0.1 of a millimeter. That's how thin cryo sheet can get. Okay, that's garbage now. That's how thin cryo sheet can get with a lot of force. And your laptop, it doesn't have that much force for mounting pressure. So cryo sheet's not going to perform well just based on how thick it's going to be. Plus you've got the risk of conducting electricity, so you'd want to use something like conformal coating or Kapton tape. I think PTM's the way to go, to be honest. You know, I guess this still is useful to measure thickness, so we'll put it back in here for now. I think I've got another sheet on the way, actually. I'll have to look into that. Okay, Riaz Patel says, looking at your 7900 XTX and its memory junction temperature fluctuates in 2-degree increments. 2-degree increments. Man, I was really hoping I could get an XTX. That would have been ideal. It would have been the hottest version of a 7000 series. It's okay, I might have to settle for a 7800 XT, or maybe even a 6000 series, but I was trying to get... Ideally, I want to test the hottest RAM. I don't know what NVIDIA is going to do for their 50 series, if they'll give us better resolution. I also don't know for sure if it's on NVIDIA side or HW Info side. And I was surprised that HW Info Martin even responded to me, because I'm just a dude. But we'll see if he responds back to my second question. Hopefully we can get some more accuracy. If we can't do with NVIDIA, we will have to move to AMD. What that's going to mean is, if it's a newer card, you know, we might not have a 2mm gap thickness, and it's going to be very hard to test pads, unless it's like exactly 1mm or, you know, just under. Yeah, Martin's pretty good guy. I appreciate that he even responded to me, so I'm sure he gets lots of emails. If you want a card to test with, get the 7900 XTX. Yeah, but the what we just figured out is the resolution doesn't have... It's probably not... It's probably 2 degrees and not the 0.1. So I need to... GPU-Z shows 2-degree increment for my 40... Yeah, so all 40 series, from what I understand, talking with Ghost and a few others, it's 2 degrees Celsius. It's really just... so far we figured out that AMD 6000, at least all the ones that I've looked at and other people have looked at, which is maybe only a dozen, but they all show 0.1 degree increments. But I kind of wanted... I was hoping to avoid 6000 as a test card, because I don't see the VRAM being as hot or running as fast. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to end the stream here, and we'll get this card back on the test bench and see what it does, and then I might troubleshoot further based on that this afternoon. So Riaz Patel says, I had to use 2 layers of cryo sheet on an uneven die to get good. Yeah. Cooler and GCD and MCD clarity. I don't know those acronyms off the top of my head, but yeah. PTM all the way for laptops. I'll see you guys later today, maybe. and have a great day. Yeah, and you can respond back just like a normal comment if you like after the stream. Thanks again, guys.